What's up, folks? David Soto Jr. here, and this is the David Soto Jr. podcast. What's up, folks? Welcome to episode 84 of the David Soto Jr. podcast. I'm your host, David Soto Jr. Like I said last time, I have a couple things to talk about. It kind of it sucks that I don't do an episode every week like I used to. I do every 2 weeks because then a new topic comes up. And this week a new topic came up, and I can't help but talk about it this week. The Confederate flag, folks. The Confederate flag. In case you don't understand why it's offensive, I'm going to explain it to you. First of all, I want to get out of the way the fact that this is not my beliefs. This is not political. This is neither. Like, my belief. Basically, you're going to say, I believe in something that did or did not happen. You can't confirm what you believe in, but you just believe in it. That's a belief. The Confederacy and the Confederate flag, there's nothing to believe because it's history, right? It happened. There's no other way to interpret it. We're just going to talk about some facts. And why is it political? I don't know. I'm not sure. The effed up part is that, you're not going to see any Democrats waving around the Confederate flag. You will only see Republicans waving around the Confederate flag. Maybe some independents. I don't know. But the effed up part about this is that the Confederacy essentially exists or started because of a new political party called the Republicans. And they're afraid that party was going to take over. And now, irony is that it's the Republicans that that are so proud of this flag. That is, I don't know, that just doesn't make sense, does it? The Confederacy was protecting their property. That's why it seceded. It was going to impact their money. The way they made money is through agriculture. Primarily cotton. And of course we know that they use slaves to pick the cotton on plantations. When the thought of losing their slaves, when the rumor or the of losing their slaves was abound, that caused them to get frustrated. There were other reasons for the Civil War. They wanted to have just like what's going on now, is they wanted to have rights. They don't have the government in their business. Blah 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 blah. But the main thing was money directly related to slavery. They were protecting their property, which were black people. So, a little bit of history. 1857, the U.S. Supreme Court delivered its infamous Dred Scott decision, which elated Southerners and enraged Northerners. The court ruled in essence that a slave man was not a citizen or even a person, and that slaves were so far inferior that they have no rights which the white man is bound to respect. 1887. Not even a person. Now, Vice President Confederate Vice President, right, in the Cornerstone speech leading up to the Civil War, described its ideology as centrally based upon, quote, upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that slavery, subordination to the superior race is his natural and normal condition. This is the Vice President of the Confederacy. And this was his speech, which was, I think, days before the beginning of the Civil War. There's nothing to believe that my beliefs are different than yours. Because again, I am quoting facts that happened in our history. This is history. This isn't even me talking about race. I'm talking about U.S. history. The Confederate Constitution, Article 1, Section 4, or Section 9, 4, Paragraph 4 maybe, I don't know. Article 1, no bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or a law denying or impairing the right of property in Negro slaves shall be passed. Property, again, these people, and the only reason they are considered property is because of the color of their skin. That's racism. That's racist. That's white supremacy. The Constitution for the Confederacy, there's a lot to it, but this specifically claims the protection of slavery, and any future ratification. This amendment, basically they took the old Constitution and rewrote sections that suited them. This one protected slavery indefinitely in the South. So this is the Confederacy. This is what the Confederacy was about. This is what they wanted. And the Confederate flag represents this. Like, I don't know what else. Confederacy, Confederate flag. I don't know what else there is to add to that. Now, let's be fair. Although I don't read it, I read it once in an unlikely place. I have not confirmed it. But I have heard that the North, the Union, in the previous years leading up to the Emancipation Proclamation, had sold all their slaves. I got a low battery. Things should have been on the charger. Should have. I heard that they sold all their slaves to the South and then wanted to abolish slavery. I don't know how true that is, but it's kind of a dick move, and that is representative of what politics and politicians are. They're all basically pretty much all crooks, money hungry crooks. Uh, I know there's some exceptions, but I don't even know. So we'll be also uh, the influx of German and Irish immigrants because of the potato famine was up. And basically, you had immigrants that would work for cheap. Sound familiar? So they did not. It was easier for them because of the abundance of low people willing to work for low wages. It was easier for them to say, we don't need slaves. Also, it was easier because there was less agriculture going on in the northern states. So, I mean, just had to share that to be fair that the Union were dicks too. Okay. So here's the thing. There are things that people don't know, and they support something, or they display something, or they're in favor of something, and they don't know exactly the history behind it. The Confederate flag, as a kid, I thought it was cool, mainly because it was on the General Lee, the Dodge Charger, or was it Charger, or the Bo and Luke Duke. I was a fan of the Dukes of Hazzard, and I loved the Dukes of Hazzard, even when they changed out Bo and Luke Duke when their cousins came in for a while. But they brought them back, But I'm not gonna let my kids watch Dukes of Hazzard now if it was on. I did not know what the Confederate flag represented. So I got more information, and then I changed my mind. It doesn't make me a dummy. I'm not wrong to admit that I didn't know something. And when presented with new information, I can make a change. Here's the thing: when you're presented with new information and you don't make a change, then it's pretty evident that you're whatever. It's your informed decision that makes you the person, like if in this case racist, right? Once you know the information and you continue to have the thought or opinion or support of something that is racist, and now you know that it's racist, then you're racist. Okay. I remember seeing, hearing, or first of all, I'm on low battery, so I can't talk too much, but a lot of people didn't know, if you're a believer in Christ, a lot of people didn't know what Christ went through on his passion, like before his crucifixion, the beating that he took, and how brutal it was, until they watched the Passion of Christ. And then there, bam, you have more information. You didn't know all of that. Same thing. Some people are realizing, like they saw Django Unchained, and it's a Quentin Tarantino movie, but the treatment of the slaves, a lot of people didn't know that's what happened. And I don't know if people who wave the Confederate flag or support the Confederate flag know how brutal it was. In fact, Uncle Tom's Cabin, the book, is possible. It depicts how slaves were traded and convinced a lot of people, because they didn't know, convinced a lot of people how bad slavery was, because of the treatment and the lack of knowledge of the treatment of these people. So to add to all of this dumb shit about the Confederate flag and how you support it because it's heritage, the fucked up part is like that's not the Confederate flag. The United States Confederacy had a flag that would typically, you would think it'd be called the Confederate flag. It looks nothing like what you're taking to your Trump rallies. It actually looked very similar to the United States flag, except it had less stripes. What we know as the Confederate flag started in during the 1948 presidential election when the Dixiecrats protested the civil rights movement. So what you think is the Confederate flag that represented the South is specifically a flag used to oppose the civil rights movement. It is specifically used as a representation against equal rights for people of color, black people specifically. It is a symbol of white supremacy. Is that a belief? You be the judge. You have the facts now. Folks, I admit I'm cutting it short. I got coffee to drink. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, I don't know, and TikTok. It's just me, I don't know, posting pictures of my kids, building stuff, remodeling tables. I don't know. Also, you can find me on Amazon. I'm an author. All right. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it.